And we're on. Hello and welcome to podcast episode 114 of Rope-A-Dope Boxing. If you're new to the channel, please like, share and subscribe. But if you're listening via Apple Podcasts, please give us a 5-star review as nothing else will do. Today, I'm bringing you another In Conversation episode with professional boxer, the Superfly sensation, the wonderful Sylwia Doligala. Have I said that correct?
That's it. Yes, you did.
Thanks. Just quickly off air, I said thanks, for giving me some of your time on this very sunny Sunday afternoon. It's quite rare to have sun in the UK, especially around April time. So I do appreciate it, mate. Thanks a lot. First things first, how are you?
I'm very well, thank you. Yeah, how are you?
Yeah, I'm good. Even better for seeing you, mate. You've got your cup of tea, there, you've got your biscuits. I've got a can
All
of red.
prepared.
You're very well prepared. Yeah. Just quickly before I crack into talk about your career and bits and bats, I did call you in my opening gambit there, the Superfly sensation. Now I've seen some of your stuff. I've seen some of your fights. You haven't got a nickname or an alias, have you? So I kind of just made that up.
I don't.
That's something obviously looked at going forward. But yeah, let's crack into it, mate. I'll ask you about your journey into boxing, the present, the future, and just a few thoughts on boxing in general to finish off with. So,
That's fine.
as far as I know, you're born in Poland. You're now in Wakefield in the UK. So, mate, how did the journey begin into the world of boxing?
It was a funny one because I was always like, the child that was out there and always, fighting with boys and now in school. So I was always into stuff like that. But however, my parents never got me into any kind of sport. When I moved over here, I thought, I was an adult. I started boxing when I was 21. But that was by mistake, by accident, to be honest with you. I walked into a wrong class. I got my mate. I said, right, let's go do some fitness, like a boxercise, women class or something like that. But we walked in a wrong time and it was just proper boxing class. So the coach were like, oh, if you want to just stay, see if you like it and give it a little go. So we did. And I loved it, every time since then, I was there every single class and trying to have a go at boxing. And yeah, here I am, a few years down the line, I'm a pro.
You kind of just stumbled into it then. So you went to do a bit of fitness, I'm guessing, boxercise, and it was an actual boxing gym. So you kind of made a mistake.
Gym, yeah.
Yeah. That's crazy. So I'm guessing you haven't had any kind of amateur career. You started boxing at 21. Correct me if I'm wrong. Have you done any kind of amateur before you've turned pro or not?
I've done a few fights, them white collar boxing. Oh, yeah. So I've done a few of them with my previous coach. And then since I moved to Dickys gym, was it 5 years now? I've turned pro with them about 3 years ago now. So my professional career started with Dickys gym at Batley.
Yeah, I've delved into your career. I have watched your fights, especially the last one, which we'll get into. We've had a few female guests on there. There's normally two of us. My pal can't make it today, but we kind of ask similar questions. So when you first went into the gym or when you first turned pro, what was the attitude like with men? Now, I asked this question because the whole kind of rhetoric around women's boxing is down to the Katie Taylor story. Had to pretend she was a boy so she could train with the boys. She wasn't welcome, etc. I know it's 2025 or when you started when you were 21. What was the kind of attitude towards the women, the female fighters in the gym? Were you welcome or not?
Do you mean when I turned pro at Dickys gym?
Yeah. Or any time you went into the gym, yeah.
Do you know what? But since I went to Dickys gym, it was just lovely. The atmosphere there, it's like a second home. Since you walk in that gym, you just feel so welcomed, and everyone is so helpful. And it was like that since I stepped into that gym. So I never felt like outsider or like worse than the others. You know what I mean? So no, it was fantastic, and I can't say a bad word about any of them. So. Yeah, no, I felt good.
It looks like a bit of a family you've got up there. So is that based in Batley? Is it or Wakefield?
Yeah, Batley. Sorry, yeah.
The team that you've got there, Jasmina Sapatochna and Callum Simpson and the kid that fought last night, Corey O'Regan.
Yeah.
Did you see his fight last night, by the way?
I saw the last round.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. He was boxing really well, wasn't he? Got caught on the third, and he didn't really recover. So, he was tough kid. But yes, going back to my original point, it looks like it's a bit of a family there. Callum Simpson seems to be in your corner. Yeah, Jasmina comes to your fight, so that's good to hear. So as you're full time, what do you do as in terms of full-time work? I know it's a struggle for female boxers to get full-time work, to get sponsors, because you've got to pay for your medical bills and things like that. So what's it like being full-time? Are you constantly in the gym, or do you find time to go in the gym and things like that,
I work Monday, Friday, 8 hours a day. So boxing is like kind of my second job. So yeah, it can be hard, especially at the beginning of the career when you have to climb the ladder up to the, high-end, bigger scenes. So yeah, it can be hard selling tickets and getting sponsors and stuff like that. This is stuff that people don't really see, what we have to go through to to get to that higher point and actually make some money out of boxing. So yeah, I am working full time to pay the bills.
But how do you manage that? I mean, I'm a father of two. I work full time as well, but I'm 42. You're a lot younger than me, but I haven't got the energy to do anything after my job. So how often do you spend time with the gym and work on certain things? And you've got to have a life for yourself as well, haven't you? How do you fit it all in?
Absolutely. Like Monday, Friday, I don't see any of my friends or family. You know what I mean? It's just work, gym, home, food, shower, bed. So that's my life. Boxing is my life. So I'm trying to spend every spare minute into give it to that sport and make the most of it while I can, while the age allows me as well, because it's not forever kind of career, so you have to make the most. And I believe people around me, they know what's important for me and they know what's good for me, hence why they understand it. They are sometimes on the weekends when I just can't be asked leaving the house and I just want to have some rest, a little walk and just relax. So they know once I'm in a camp, that's it. I'm done with them. They don't get to see me. That's my life, and I've been doing that for past few years. And that's when, this is the time when you realize who your real friends are. Sometimes, do you know what I mean? Something like, oh, she only sees boxing, stuffer. But sometimes they do know what's good for you, etc. So they understand my life and they are there for me. So yeah, can be hard, but it's doable.
I was going to say, so when you say you realize who your friends are, so they realize that you're working full time, you're in the gym kind of full time, so they understand that you can't make time for them. Is that what you're saying?
Absolutely. Yeah. So some of them don't understand that, but some obviously you lose on the way to where.
And it's also you're right. Also, because like I say, we've had a few female fighters on here. We try and champion the female game as much as we can, and selling tickets seems to be a major issue, if you like. If you can't sell enough tickets, sometimes you're pulled out of the fight, and if you don't fight, you don't get paid. There's not a lot of money in it anyway. So how do you find selling tickets? Have you got a bit of a fan base now where you're based? Have you got any Polish supporters as well that follow you and things like that? How's the reception for you, basically what I'm saying?
Yeah, absolutely. I've got friends and family that always come to the fight and support, which means, a lot, especially this time when, everything's going up in price, etc. So the living is not cheap, but they always, find some money to come and support me. Also, sponsors, they're a massive part of the journey, because if not them, we wouldn't be able to box. And as you said, sometimes if you can't sell enough tickets to pay the opponent fees and managers fees and the show fees, you won't be able to fight. So it's all to do with the sponsorships and friends and family spending their money to come and support you.
Yeah, so you've had 9 fights as a pro, looking at your record on BoxRec. Do you think you could have had more fights in terms of if you had had more money, especially or maybe at the start of your career, in terms of your medical bills as well, ticket selling, the percentage that goes to your manager, venue hire, things like that? Because what you said, you started at 21. Is that when you made your debut at 21, or when did you make
that was with my previous that was with my previous coach in 2019, I believe. But I knew it wasn't the right place for me to be in that gym. Hence
Okay.
why obviously we changed the gym, and I mean the best place I could ever be to have my boxing career with. So yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So 2019, you made your debut. It was in Malta. That's what was that like? I mean, you're based, obviously, you're Polish fighter based in the UK, so you're basically a Brit now, aren't you? A bit like Jasmina, an adopted Brit. But you have your debut over in Malta. I mean, how did that come about? You've obviously got to pay for your travel and things like that on your debut. That must have been quite crazy, you know?
I was a away fighter, so I got paid to fight there. And
Ah,
as I said, my professional career didn't start well with my previous coach. Hence why we got the loss.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
What was it like fighting over there though? In terms of you being, I know you was the away fighter, but you must have been nervous being your pro debut away from home. The crowd, I don't know what the crowd was like there. You can tell me, was it a kind of not anti Sylvia, but they would have been for the home fighter, I'm guessing. Obviously, it wasn't your day. Was it Mandy Cortis? I think I've written down.
Correct.
Mandy
Correct.
Cortis.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the actual, the atmosphere and your debut was what I'm more interested in. How was it for you? It must have been a bag of nerves until you got in that ring, no?
It was, it was a nice place. Don't get me wrong. People around were lovely, and they were trying to do everything to support, etc. But yeah, as you said, I was a away fighter, my professional debut, and I was walking around. I was walking out to the ring, and I didn't even know that she's a southpaw. So this is how well prepared I was by my ex-coach. So.
Mm. Yeah, so you
Yeah.
wasn't prepared. I get this. I get what you're saying. So you wasn't prepared. Yeah, just basically threw you
Yeah.
into the deep end and hope for the best on your debut. I can understand. Yeah, we won't. Whoever he was, we won't poo-poo him too much. So
Yeah.
you mainly fight out of Oldham. I've seen now. It looks like that's basically what I was saying about your fan base. Looks like you made Oldham your home. In terms of where you fight. But I noticed, I didn't notice, I knew before I went done any kind of research on you that you fought on Callum Simpson's bill at Barnsley on
Yeah.
the Zach Kelly on that undercard. You got the win that night, a technical decision. How was that? How was that fight on? Because Callum's becoming a bit of a name the last year and a half. More boxing fans are getting to know him, get to know what he's about. He's main eventing on Sky Sports. So you was on the undercard there, and what was that? Your sixth or seventh pro fight. So how was
Yeah,
that?
yeah. No, it was amazing. It was amazing to be on that undercard. Everything around it was just, fantastic. And obviously, as my manager was laughing, I was making the history to be the first boxer to fight on the Barnsley Stadium. So no, it
Yeah.
was fantastic. Well,
Yeah.
great atmosphere, good fight up until obviously the head clash.
Yeah.
Um, Yeah, no, it was great. Honestly, it was nice to be with Callum in the changing room, and seeing him prep for his big walkout, and being there in the corner. It was just great stuff.
So because you opened the show, didn't you? You were the first.
I
The
did,
first
yeah.
fight.
I've
Yeah,
opened it,
that's right.
Callum closed it.
But that again, that's what I was saying. We mentioned Callum there. When Jasmina fought the other week, the first person she ran to or he ran to was each other. I saw your fight, which we'll talk about with Charlotte Powell. The first person you run to was Callum Simpson. So that's
Callum, yeah.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's a very the team seems very tight, close knit, like you said, family. And I try and observe as much as I can with corners, and some fighters are close. Teams are close, but yours seems very close. What is it like at Dickys gym? Is it a small? Is there only X amount of fighters, or is it a massive gym? And is there certain pockets where each people stick to the how is it that? Because it does look like you're all related, tongue in cheek, but it looks lovely.
Yeah. My coach, he's got 4 or 5 professional boxers, so we try to work together, like in the sessions, doing circuits, etc. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
as you said, we are very close with each other. We try to support each other, even if it's training or boxing, fight. Yeah, no, it's very, very. As you said, it's just like a second home for me. When you've got a bad day, we're there for each other to bring each other up, and no, it's just fantastic place. Honestly, I couldn't wish for a better people around me, better team. No, it's great to have someone like Callum or Yasmin, Corey around me. So yeah, as you said,
Yeah.
we all there for each other.
have you all got the same trainer? Is it Mark?
Yeah,
Is it
Mark
Mark?
Hurtley's, yeah.
And your manager, is it Kevin Marie?
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, obviously doing the following as well on Instagram, reposts and things like that. Yeah, I do like to see things like that. So you spend a lot of time in the gym. Obviously, I follow you on Instagram. You do live the life. You do wait. I'm guessing you keep yourself fit. You keep yourself busy. You wait for the calls and things like that, which is great to see. So let's talk about you as a pro fighting. Now, the last fight you had was only in March, like literally last month. Your first time over 10 rounds against Charlotte Powell for a Central Area title. Now, I've got to be honest, I've got you on the podcast, and not just because you're sitting in front of me. I've watched that, and on paper, it's 96-95 to Powell. But that's literally on paper. I don't think that she done enough to win. I've got to be honest. It wasn't a close fight. I watched it. You have improved some you've got some of your early stuff on YouTube, and your style is kind of different now. You look like you're thinking about your work. Your lateral movement's very, very good, and you're landing ones and twos and hooks. Was you disappointed? Was you disappointed at that fight? Because when her arm was raised, you were smiling. I don't know if that's to say, oh, I've been robbed, or oh, whatever. I mean, I thought you won quite clearly. I've got to be totally honest with you.
Do you know what? I didn't meet a single person. I know people that know me, they will be biased because they know me, but there were people from her gym going up to my partner saying, I don't know how she won it. So this shows you, like, I don't know if it's bad judging. You know what? I don't want to say a bad word because it's a past. Yeah, I was very disappointed. I was heartbroken. I knew I've done a good job on it, and I thought I did enough to win. I was coming off every single round to my corner, and they were like, you know, just do what you're doing, Sylwia. Right hand is landing, just roll left hook, everything's landing, you know, just carry on doing what you're doing. And I thought, her shots were not coming through. While I was taking them on guard. Yeah, don't get me wrong, she caught me with, you know, a few clean shots, but they were not shots that could bother me. Where I know some of my shots did hurt her. I could see that. And literally, I don't know how and what did the ref watch to score it like that.
Yeah. I didn't think the ref, I thought you would have had a judge for 10 rounds, which I was quite surprised. But you're right. I like to kind of watch again. A lot of her shots were landing on your gloves. Your work was more clean and effective. You actually knocked her gum shield out twice. I don't know the second time. Yeah, I don't know the second time she spat it out to try and gain some time or recovery time and things like that. But you looked like you was enjoying yourself, especially the second half of the fight. You was getting into a rhythm. You were landing at will. You marked her up. I think her eyes started puffing up as well. She didn't look comfortable. She looked knackered. I bet I'm guessing both of you were tired. You know, it's a bit of a sprint in women's boxing with with 2-minute rounds. But I was shocked because I read a reviewing it, watched it, saw it on BoxRec. Everyone said, "Oh, super close by a point." But the good thing about it is you get to roll it back again in May the 10th. Why are we doing it again? I'm guessing I kind of know a reason, but I'd like to hear it from why are we doing it again? Is it obvious?
Do you know what? Well, I felt I won it. I thought, you know, I've edged it, and I thought just put it as soon as, just put it on as soon as, and I think sooner it is, more hungry I am, you know, for the win to take the belt off her. Yeah. And I think it was a good thing that they're doing it so quick. I just couldn't wait. I just want to prove the point that the belt should be in my hands.
I mean, how does that come about? Did your team approach her team? Did the British Border Control reorder it? I mean, I'm guessing she doesn't want to go there again unless she's got a point to prove as well. Whether she thinks she was awful that night and she reckons she's got the beating of you. How did it come about? Because if I was outboxed like that, I'll be thinking maybe not. I've got the win over Sylwia now. I might want to move on to somebody else, but maybe she's got the same kind of thinking. She didn't perform and she wants to right the wrong. You know?
I believe it was like a 2-fight kind of deal with myself and her team. Nice. But you know, as you're saying, why did she accept the second fight? No idea. I don't want to say a bad word. As I said, I do, you know, respect everyone in the game. But let's see how it goes. May the 10th.
Yeah. But that's my point. It's a good thing that you do get to roll it back. I can't see what more you can do apart from knock her out. You know,
That's
so
it.
you know what I mean.
Yeah,
It's
but
it's the
you
same
know what?
venue.
I must have said she did well to take those shots and stand on the feet.
She did, yeah, yeah. There was a lot of
Yeah.
clean work there. Your hooks. So I've watched some of your stuff earlier on, and it looked a bit scrappy. And obviously, you said you come from white collar. It went into a gym you weren't happy with. Your style has changed. The lateral movement. I know you're short as well, but how low you get down. You know, you get down really low. You've got good lateral movement, bobbing and weaving. She was missing so many times, and that's what kind of as well. You go on you attack and defense and things like that. Yeah, it was a strange one, but hopefully you could, when you roll it back, you do get a decision this time, mate. So you're fighting at 115 pounds, aren't you? You're fighting at Superfly. What is? I've
Yes.
seen you fought at catch weights as well and things like that. So what is your natural weight? Is that the weight you're comfortable with, or what's your natural weight, mate?
We were supposed to fight at flyweight for championship fight, so I went up the way to meet Charlotte and to fight Charlotte for the Central Area fight. I think they wanted to fight us earlier last year, but I don't know what happened there. I don't know. We just didn't take it, and obviously this fight we did in March was in Superfly, so we went up weight to be able to fight. And yeah, but I believe further down the line we will be gaining that flyweight. But you know, flyweight and super flyweight, we've got quite a few girls fighting, as in from UK. So there is quite a few good girls round this weight category. So it gives us an options further down the line. And I think yeah, we can. I believe we can go up and down Superfly and fly easily.
Yeah, but definitely. But what is the weight you feel comfortable at? Is it Superfly? Is it fly? Is it bantamweight? I think your debut was at bantamweight, wasn't it? I think.
Yeah, I did bantamweight my debut. But yeah, I feel good. The lower I go, I feel better there. So
Okay.
I would say flyweight would suit me well. Yeah.
And what is it like making weight for you? Do you find it a struggle, or do you walk around at 115, or what's it like for making
It's
weight?
not a struggle. As soon as I clean up my diet and you know I just stick to it. I don't struggle. No, I must have said I don't walk around super flyweight. But yeah, no, I don't have any problems making weight. It's just being more stricter with myself and consistency.
So you have to cut out the chips and the burgers and the
That's
hot
it.
dogs and the biscuits.
That's it.
Yeah. How do you are you enjoying boxing as a pro? I mean, white collar is I haven't done it, but I know people that have done it. 2 weeks of training, go into the ring, and they've kind of forgot everything that they've done, and they just go hell for leather. So are you enjoying kind of learning the sweet science, if you like, in the ring, learning new things? As I said, your style has changed within the 9 fights that you've had. So yeah, are you enjoying being a pro? Are you enjoying boxing full stop, mate?
Absolutely, I enjoy all of the journey, and if not that, obviously I wouldn't do it for sure, because it is the hardest sport in the world, and you have to be a full time. It's not a part-time sport, you have to be full time in it, and yeah, obviously enjoying it, like learning new stuff day in day out, and as you said, my style has changed massively, and I believe I became more confident in what I'm doing, sparring good girls, and which gives me a chance to improve every time, every spar. I believe I'm doing better and better. So hence why the difference in the Charlotte Powell fight. And I did, do stuff which I never did before when I watched my fights back, and I thought, I could have thrown right hand there. And in Charlotte Powell's fight, I was doing exactly what I've been asked to, what we've been training for. And even my coach said, Sylwia, the performance you've put on, it was just amazing, like doing things you never did before. You were hesitating to throw right hand. And this fight, I've done, everything what I've trained, what I've been asked for. And I could hear my corner shouting stuff, and I was adapting to every single thing they've asked me to do. So yeah, as I said, it's more I learn, more easy it becomes for me to fight. So obviously you get more skills and more things to to do in the ring. So I find it more interesting as the time goes on, and as my career grows, I find it just nicer and easier to fight with, with gaining more skills and that.
Mate, it's interesting you say, because when you're actually in the heat of the moment, when you're actually boxing and you've got Callum and your trainer and whoever else in the corner, and they're shouting instructions to you, do they actually sink in? I know you said you're listening. Obviously, we have the minutes break in the corner, and obviously they're giving you a shot. But when you're actually fighting and they're saying to do this, do that, do the other, are you actually taking it in, or are you concentrating on what you're doing, if that makes sense?
No, absolutely. I try to listen to my corner, and this fight I had in March, I believe it was one of the fights where I could hear everything they were saying to me. Do you know, sometimes you just zone in the moment and you just go with the flow. And yeah, as I said, this fight, I was so concentrated. I was just a different fighter that night, and I've enjoyed myself in there every single minute of it.
So, yeah, so you did look like you was enjoying yourself. You were smiling at times. She was getting frustrated. So again, I think that, I don't know whether it's on British Boxing Board of Control TV. There's a channel, BBTV, and then obviously it's on YouTube as well. That's where I got the footage. So we'll give it a shout out at the end where to get tickets and whatnot, mate. You mentioned about other girls in the division, so you're referring to Lauren Parker, Shannon Ryan, and obviously Emma Dolan. Emma Dolan fought on Friday night against Lauren Parker. So I had a look on BoxRec, and you're ranked at number 5 in the UK. Just above you is Charlotte Powell. So you take care of her in May. You kind of go up. You should go up in the ranking, shouldn't you? So it leaves Lauren Parker. So basically, my question is to you: what is the goal? What is the aim? Is it to get in the ring with these girls, try and win a belt or multiple belts, or is it just about having fun, having hobby, or just see where your ceiling is? What is the plan for you, Sylwia?
Do you know what? My manager and coach, they obviously know the game better, and they know that I'm sure they have a plan for me in their heads, and I just follow whatever they think it's right for me. But obviously, it would be nice to go all the way to the top and fight the best girls, because you don't learn much fighting journey girls, and win or lose better girls. I think that's where you enjoy it the most, because you had your chance, you gave it a go, and fighting better girls, means more than anything else. That's where where you can pick up and see where your career can and will go. So yeah.
So basically, you want to test yourself with the best. So the best of
Absolutely.
British. Yeah, definitely. But you said it's about what your team, obviously your team, your management team, your trainers, etc. have got a plan for you. But what about you yourself? How far do you want to go? You're 30 now, so you've got a good 5 or 6 years left in the game. I mean, there's a lot. I know boxing's a short career, but you can, if your management team's on it and the performances are there. I mean, Emma Dolan on Friday night, mate, she performed very, very well. She's got a GBM contract now. So that could be something you could aim for as well. Kind of get a promotional contract where you're busier and you do get a wage of such, So yeah, what do you want to do? Not what your management want, but what do you want to do?
Absolutely. Do you know, I would love to do boxing as a full time, but up until then, I have to work, and I cannot put.
Yeah.
I'm not saying I'm not putting 100% in, because I am. I'm doing my best in the gym, but yeah, I would love to be noticed one day, and be fighting on those TV shows and getting some more titles. So yeah, I think this is the goal, and hopefully it will work out to our favour.
I hope so. I really do. I mean, we've had Jasmina on here before, and she's becoming a little bit of a name now. She lost to Shannon Ryan, but she's improved since then. But she's had a great win against Maisie Rose, and then she went and beat Chloe Watson in the all-female card. She got the belt. More people know about her. The cheeky smile she's got and things like that. But she didn't land a promotional deal. Do you know what I mean? She didn't land it, but Emma Dolan did. So it's about the right people watching you at the right time as well, isn't it? I mean, you could get into the ring May the 10th, put on a right masterclass against Charlotte Powell. Somebody in the crowd could watch her, like an Izzy Aziz from GBN, matchmake you against Lauren Parker going forward again. Do you know what I mean? And you could land that deal. So it's like being in the right place at the right time, isn't it? And keeping yourself busy, keeping yourself fit. Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. As you said, even when I'm not in the camp, I am always in gym Monday to Friday, just, grafting away and waiting for a call. So, as you said, being in a good time and being seen by somebody, I think that's being a bit lucky, maybe.
Yeah. Yeah. No, you're right. Yeah. A bit lucky as well. Yeah.
Yeah. As you said, yeah.
What's sparring like in terms of, do you spar men? A lot of the girls we have on, they say they spar men. Do you spar any of the guys at Dickys gym?
No, not really. I must have said, obviously,
Okay.
I've got Yasmin. Yasmin got me when needed, so we do spar each other. We have some girls over in Sheffield that we spar regularly. Nicola Hopewell and Sammy Lightfoot. She's going to be starting a pro journey in June, I believe. So we got quite a few girls around us that we do spar regularly. Don't really spar boys now, because it's not same.
Okay.
I don't see any advantage in sparring boys when we got girls around. Do you know what I mean? So yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm just intrigued by what different girls do different things. So yeah, that's interesting. And you're sparring with Jasmina. Who's winning at the moment?
It's not winning or losing. It's about improving.
I was going to kind of try and matchmake a little bit. You could have like on a Callum Simpson undercard, you could have the Battle of Poland, couldn't you? You could have yourself. You're from is it Pilar? You're from in Poland?
Yeah.
Against Wrocław, I think. Jasmine is from a bit of a Polish
Well, can you
rivalry.
imagine my coach running from one corner to another, giving instructions and what?
Yeah. That would be awkward, wouldn't it? Who we choose that night? But yeah, do you get any love from Poland? Because when we had Jazz on there before, she was kind of saying there wasn't a lot going on for women in Poland when she left Polska. The men, a lot of the Polish men are based in the US. The professional men. What's it like over there? The scene, especially for women, is it the same kind of? Is there no kind of opportunity for Polish women? Do they have to come to the UK and the US?
I never had anything to do with the Polish boxing. She was fighting for national team in amateur, so she she can say a bit more about it. But we had a friend over from Poland. She tried some professional boxing in Poland and then back to amateur now because there is not many opportunities for females. I don't know how it works with men. But yeah, females don't get many opportunities in Poland to fight as a pro, which is sad thing because But as I said, I don't know how it works. I don't know why, what.
Yeah.
As I've gone up and never had anything to do with the Polish boxing.
That's fair enough. What's the main sport over in Poland then? Is it fight sports or is it football?
Yeah, I would say like MMA and MMA. You see a lot of shows on TV for that.
Okay. Yeah. So that's kind of your career. I mean, I did write down your as me notes. I did write down your record: 5-2-2. You've got the fight on the 10th of May. So I'm not going to end the podcast just yet. But when you do pick up that belt, that Central Area title belt, you are obliged to come back onto this podcast and bring the belt. Like Jasmine is supposed to come on and bring the European title belt. So we've got faith in it that you will win it. But going on to a few thoughts with boxing, I like asking not just the girls, but me and my co-host, we have a lot of debates on here about the women's boxing in terms of the 10-2s. Now, where do you stand on 10-2s? I find it so hard for the girls yourself to, as I said earlier, it's a sprint. You've only got 20 minutes where the men get 36. It's a massive difference in a world, especially in a world title fight. Where do you stand on? Would you like to see 10-3s, 12-3s, 8-3s? Where do you stand on it, Sylwia?
Do you know what? I was speaking to, I think even Yasmin the other day about the 3-minute rounds for girls, and females are weaker. and there would, I believe there would be less action in the fight.
Okay. Yeah.
As you said, 2 minute, yeah, they do go fast, and if it's like 2-4s or 2-6, it's hard to judge sometimes. Yeah, I don't know. Like we sparred for 3 minutes. Sometimes when we spar amateur girls, we sparred 3 minutes, and sometimes it just like feels like it goes for ages. But sometimes you can enjoy it, and you can work on more stuff during that round and practice some some movement. But I don't know. I don't know where it. I don't know where I stand with it. It's hard for me to comment. Obviously, I never even sparred 10 threes, and maybe if I would do that, I would have an opinion on it.
Yeah. I was just thinking
But
when
yeah,
you was fighting, but when you was fighting Charlotte Powell, you mentioned there you don't know how she stayed on her feet because you landed some big shots and marked her up. Maybe those extra 10 minutes, those extra 16 minutes, if you like, you might have got her out of there. And this is the question I always ask with the women's game. A lot of women say they do spar 12 threes in the gym and things like that. So we don't get many knockouts with the girls. Maybe if you add the extra 10 to 16 minutes, you might see a stoppage, but it's interesting. And you mentioned Jazz there. She said when she was on it, and it's a theory I'd never heard before. She mentioned about having children when you retire from boxing, having children, and more punishment, the more rounds, the more minutes, the more punishment on the body, and it might affect the womb. So that's a take I've never heard of before.
I'm sure
Yeah,
you can imagine, it could have a big effect on your brain, etc. And but as you said, there probably would be more knockouts in a female fight if you would go 3 minutes or more stoppages. But yeah, I don't really have an opinion on it, to be honest. And I know Amanda Serrano was shouting to get 12 threes, treat the females same as men. But no, I don't really have an opinion on it.
Do you think you could do 12 threes yourself? Do you think you've got the gas tank
Probably,
to do it?
if I would train for it, I don't think it would be an issue. Absolutely, yeah.
It's interesting. All the women come up with different things. Going back to Poland, would you like to fight in Poland on a card or even in like a small arena, just to say you're boxing your home country? Would that be an ambition for you going forward?
Yeah, that would be amazing, and I'm sure I would have quite a lot of people coming over and watching it. Yeah, no, it would be really nice. It would be amazing to fight on a nice card in Poland. Yeah.
Yeah, because the Polish are quite sort of, what's the word, passionate, if you like. When I've noticed certain nations when they've got a fighter or a sports star, like what's the Polish footballer, the superstar?
It's Lewandowski.
It's like a god. So when they come out to see their stars, that's what I mean. So the place where you're from, Pila, your name, I'm guessing your name, people will know your name, even though you're early into your pro career. You'll be in the newspapers, you'll possibly be on the news. You go back to where you're from, and people come out to see you.
Yeah, no, that would be fantastic. Absolutely, yeah. They do support. They do show the support. And as you said, if you're out there, if you're known, you do get a lot of support. Absolutely.
Definitely. So just to end on this, so central area title, these are the goals, right? You to win the central area title. Then you face Lauren Parker. You beat Lauren Parker. Then you beat Shannon Ryan. Then you beat Emma Dolan. Then you have a European title fight in Poland, and then you come back on back on this podcast with the belts. Is that
yeah, that sounds great, doesn't it?
Sounds great.
Sounds like a plan.
Yeah. A lot of pressure on your manager there to get you the fights, mate, and obviously get you a promotional deal as well. Another question I'd like to ask the girls. You mentioned there about Amanda Serrano. The self-proclaimed GOAT Clarissa Shields is always in the conversation with Katie Taylor. Now, question I'm going to ask everybody, and 9 times out of 10 it's the same, and I just want to see if you're going to go the same way. Who is the real GOAT to women's boxing? Is it Clarissa, or is it Katie, or is it Amanda Serrano? You might go down a different route. Who and why?
I would say Amanda Serrano.
Oh, you shocked me.
Did I?
Really? Yeah. Most people say Katie.
She is. However, if you look at Amanda's career, what she achieved in each weight category, it's just amazing. You know, she went up and down to so many weight categories, and she achieved a lot in that sport.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying, you know, Katie, she's the face of a female boxing. She's amazing, you know, fighter. She's an amazing person. But career-wise, I would say Amanda doing loads.
Fair enough. Yeah, I was expecting somebody else to go on the Katie Taylor train. I've got to admit, I'm a Clarissa fan. I love the way that she boxes. I don't think she gets a lot of love, but she's what she is, isn't she? She's a brash American that's very mouthy, and she hasn't got the opponents on her resume like Katie and Amanda Serrano have. But yeah, that's interesting, mate. That is. Yeah, and right. And obviously that the fights she's had with Katie Taylor, some of the best boxing fights we've seen. I mean, a lot of people poo-poo the women's game, but you've only got to have a look at those 2 fights and what we've seen lately with Lauren Price, how dominant she was against Natasha Jonas. Absolutely. And Michaela Meyer last weekend against Sandy Ryan. So on women's boxing, mate, what's your thoughts in general? How far it's come from the days of girls not being licensed to fight, and now with them having their own shows on Boxer? What's your thought? It's growing, isn't it? It's exciting times.
Absolutely. Even like, you know, the days when I've started, when I've turned pro, there were not many girls on the scenes, and when you look at it now, it's getting even bigger and bigger, and I'm sure it will just go up and grow. It's amazing, and it's good to see that, you know, and we being treated with the same respect as men are now, being able to headline big shows, you know, being able to fight on a big card, where back in the days you never had that. You know, as you said, females were not there, we're not seen, we're not shown as much as men were. So no, it is nice to see the females coming into the sport, and you know, showing that we are good, we are capable of this sport, and we can do well as well.
Definitely. You just said that Michaela Meyer against Sandy Ryan last week was the main event, and there was a men's world title fight on as a co-main. Now, a few years ago, that would never have happened. The girls would have been on like the prelims, if you like, not kind of mentioned. So it has grown. It's exciting to see. We championed the women's fights on here because they're just as entertaining. And also, I don't know if you've noticed, Sylwia, the style has changed as well. I mentioned your style as well. Have you changed as a pro? A lot of the girls now, they seem a lot more professional. I know a lot of them are coming elite amateurs and coming out the Olympics, but there's a lot more, like you just said there, the appreciation, the training's there as well. They're not just coming off the streets and throwing wild hooks like white collar, if you like. So it is good to watch on the eye. And I keep going back to the way your style has changed. You've noticed it yourself. You go back and look at your footage. Some of it you're quite easy to hit. You're kind of head down, but now you're kind of thinking about your work. You're pivoting. You're moving backwards and forwards. You're catching girls in the way in. It's good times all round, mate. So
absolutely,
definitely, mate. Just before I let you go, I'm going to give you a quick fire round. Just 10 random things, and you just got to say which one you prefer. Just a bit of fun to end the podcast, really. Okay. You right with that?
Let's do it.
Right. So, Facebook or Instagram?
Instagram.
Shopping or boxing?
Boxing.
Oh, McDonald's or Burger King?
McDonald's.
I don't know if I pronounce this right. Is it gomoki? Is it gomopki, the Polish dish?
Gomopki, yeah.
Yeah, that or black pudding?
Black pudding.
Oh, really? You're a proper brick now. Mike Tyson or Tyson Fury?
Mike Tyson.
Tea or coffee?
Coffee.
Yeah, got coffee there, so that's obvious. Cats or dogs?
Dogs. However, I've got a cat.
Oh, no fence sitting. So you're going dogs, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Beer or wine?
Wine.
Wakefield or Warsaw?
Wakefield. I've never been to Warsaw, that's why I'm saying Wakefield.
You've never been to the capital? Oh my god.
No, I know, shame into it.
And last but not least, money or happiness?
They say money won't bring you happiness. However, without money, you wouldn't be able to enjoy life. But I would go with happiness.
Yeah, that's the right answer. That's you say that, and you are right. But the other saying is the best things in life are free, aren't they? Hence happiness. But yeah, it would be nice to be rich, wouldn't it?
That's it. Absolutely.
Yeah, mate. Never been to Warsaw. And can I just say, I love your accent. Your accent is it's Polska, but you've got a strong Yorkshire tinge as well. Some of your words you're saying are like very northern. So yeah,
it's funny, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah. How long have you been in the UK?
About 18 years this year.
Oh, fair enough. Yeah, so you have picked up a bit of a twang, but yeah, I've noticed that while I was talking to you. So, yes, mate. Do you want to give a shout out where people can follow you, your handles?
Yeah,
and things
obviously,
like that?
I do invite everyone to follow me on Instagram. That's where I've put all everything about myself, my boxing career, etc. So it's just my name, Sylwia.Doligala. I've got a Facebook page called same as well. Yeah, please follow me.
Don't forget, guys, as well. May the 10th, Oldham Leisure Centre, Powell versus Doligala Part 2. Where can you get the tickets, mate?
For myself or my management.
Yeah, so get cracking in there, guys. It's going to be a good fight. Guarantee that. This time, you have to get the decision. This time, I'm going to be rooting for you. And by the way, we do. Me and my co-host, we normally do previews every Thursday. So we'll do a preview on your show as well, and I'll put it on Instagram and I'll tag you in it and things like that. Let people know that you're fighting. Do me and my mate will do our part and kind of promote you as well.
That's nice. Thank you.
Friend of the show, mate. So thanks for coming on. Very much appreciated on this sunny afternoon. Is it nice and sunny where you are at the moment?
It is lovely. Yeah, it's lovely out there.
Yeah. So
nice little walk.
Gonna go for a nice walk. Yeah. Country, wherever you are. Go nice pub. You said you prefer wine over beer. Nice couple of glasses of wine maybe on a Sunday.
And not when I'm in camp. No enjoyment there.
I forgot. Yeah, of course you're in camp, so you have to be mineral water, I suppose, will it?
Glass of water, and that will do.
Well, mate, hopefully it'll be worth it. So you can parade that Central Area title belt around Wakefield with a bottle of wine in one hand and Gomaki in the other. Oh no, black pudding for you, isn't it?
No, thank you for having me. I really appreciate it. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, mate. And definitely please come back on again.
Absolutely. Anytime.
Yeah, appreciate it. So that's the end of episode 114, people. Like, share and subscribe. And we'll be back midweek with a preview and review episode. So until then, peace out, Sylwia. Peace out, guys.
Thank you.